We're talking to Aida Rodriguez. She's a comedian, actress, and producer. So you got some sort of notice that there was a job available from Donald Trump's camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on breakdown. So they were looking for a Latina who spoke correct English, non-accented, but that spoke correct English to play the part of a Trump supporter. And someone sent that to me. Two people sent it. Someone sent it as a joke because they knew. And then someone actually sent it to me and asked me if I would be interested in coming in for the audition. And I just thought it was hilarious.
So what was the part for?
I think it was for an ad. They were very vague about it because then they have to dispute that it comes from the camp, if it gets exposed. But it was, when during the time when he said what he said about Mexicans, I guess he was looking for a Latina Stacey Dash. He was looking for somebody to say, I love Donald Trump, and that was kind of hard to find with people who are educated and have a who are not self-hating.
Aida, I wish you'd have gone in and been our spy.
I know.
Because I have it in front of me because you sent it to us. It says Donald Trump, executive assistant.
Yeah, it was the role of his assistant.
Yeah, and so is it an ad where you play a secretary and like he gets to have a brown face in there going, oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Like without even necessarily saying anything, like sending the message, oh, I surround myself with minorities. I mean, I have to pay for it, obviously.
Yeah.
But
that's my African American and that's my Latina.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said my African American. And when he said that's my African American to the one African American in his rally, I thought he meant like that's his friend. That's my boy, which would have been an even worse thing to say in his context.
Yeah.
But you could say that's my boy, that's my friend, right? No, it turns out he didn't know the guy at all.
No, it was.
And the guy was like, I don't even support him.
Yeah.
But he found a black face in the crowd, and he's like, that's my African American.
Yeah.
And that's what he's kind of doing here with this ad.
That's right.
Come play my secretary because I need a Latina to be my secretary. That's what executive assistant is. There's a different term for it, and so. But why I wish you'd gone is that because maybe it wasn't an ad. Because remember, Donald Trump paid actors $50 a head.
Oh, that's right.
To appear at his first rally.
At the rally.
Now, later rallies, to the best of our knowledge, are real, and they have real supporters. They're all excited, etc. But in that first announcement that he made, where he famously disappeared in the escalator, like the worst choreographed announcement ever, right? All the people in the crowd, we later found out, were actors that were paid $50 to show up and pretend to like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe they groom you for bigger roles. Like if you're enough of a sellout, then they put you on TV as a surrogate. But one last thing about the Trump ad. I don't know that they send for roles that are quote unquote white and ask you to speak correct English.
Yeah.
So isn't that a bit telling that they?
Of course, because they want you to sound like an educated Latina that supports Trump, so that they don't question. Because when those two ladies that he had, the two Latina ladies that were praising him at the rally, people were like, yeah, look at them, they're slaves. Like they don't have an education, they don't even speak correct English. He probably paid them. So they were looking for somebody who that made an educated decision to support Donald Trump even after he assassinated the character of their people. And so that's what they were looking for. And so somebody thought that I would do a good job at that, and that person is no longer my friend.
So, and by the way, it's not a new thing. It happens all the time. There was in 2012 when Obama was running against Mitt Romney, Joe Ricketts, who's a very, very wealthy Republican donor. Now his wife is a Hillary Clinton donor, but that's a different thing. And we'll talk about him, Joe, commissioned this memo about how they were going to attack Obama based on Reverend Wright and his race and how he's the other. But they needed an intellectual, articulate African American to make the case. Because if you're white, no, they'll accuse us of racism. Oh, we got a clever trick. This is in the memo. It got leaked to the New York Times. So we need a black guy to say those same racist things,
right,
so that that we won't be accused of racism. They think that that's clever. I got news for you. We're on to you.
No, it's like the sheriff on Fox and Stacey Dash and
I just debated one. Dinesh D'Souza, he writes about Obama's rage.
Oh, yeah.
Rage? What are you doing? He's like the calmest man in America. But why? They got to say that he's an angry black man. It's one of the oldest racist tropes there is in America. But it's okay. Dinesh is brown.
Yeah.
We got a brown man to say it. Okay, and we paid him a lot of money to do that, so he was super happy to do it. And then goes, what? Saying an angry black man's a racist thing? I never heard of that.
Of course.
Oh, you didn't. You went to Dartmouth and you never heard of that. That's interesting.
Imagine if Obama would ever display any type of anger with all the stuff being called a liar, pictures of him and as a monkey from the Tea Party, like all the things that he's experienced, because we have amnesia. It's been 8 years of extreme racism. It's not now. It's been happening throughout. They called this, there was I'm from Miami, so a Cuban ABC anchor called her a primate. He got fired, but he actually felt that he could say that on television. Imagine if somebody would have called Barbara Bush a Neanderthal, the descendant of a caveman. You know what I mean? What if somebody would say those things about they smell like dogs when they get wet? Imagine if they said that about the white people that have been in office. It's been unbelievable what Obama and Michelle have experienced. And still, with calmness and class, those people have never reacted. They went to a funeral. Remember they said Michelle was angry at the funeral? She was at a funeral. Was she supposed to be happy? She was at a funeral.
Yeah, they can't wait to use those stereotypes, right or wrong, because that's what's in their heads, and they can't get it out of their heads, and they want to share it with everybody. They want to scream it from the rooftops. We just did a clip yesterday on the show that JR produced, where they say, Democrats like to call names. So then JR put together a compilation of 2.5 minutes of Republicans calling President Obama and Michelle Obama names.
Yeah.
And so savage, animal, all the different things that black people have been called throughout American history. And for Michelle Obama, they had a black guy come on Fox News and act like a monkey, saying that's what Michelle Obama did. I'm like,
it's horrible.
Is there enough money in the world to be paid to do that for Fox News when they tell you to dance and you dance for them?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's really revolting.